What is up, people? MrFallior here, bringing you another video. So, I haven't filmed anything in about a week because thankfully the Ripley's Believe It or Not videos took up 8 videos worth and then an extra day to show what we got at the gift shop, which I did not film yet, so I'm not sure if this video comes out first or that one, but we just had the worst week ever, at least as far as I can remember. So I don't even know what day it was now because I didn't film when it happened because I needed that break anyway, so that was pretty good. But so what happened? Well, it was near the start of the week. I think it was probably the beginning of the work week. And very first delivery was at a hotel. So I get to the hotel, give the woman her food, get back in my car, put the key in the ignition, turn the key, nothing. Turn the key again, nothing. Not like the start of a sound, it was literally nothing. Like it wasn't making any sound at all. I turn it and it goes. That's it. Like there's no sound at all. And I turn it and hold it. Nothing. I try to I pull the key out, push it in as far as I could, turn it, nothing. I take the key out, push it in and turn it really quick, nothing. Take the key out, push it in as hard as I can, turn it really slow, boom, 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 nothing. So after about 10 minutes of trying to get my car to start, I call up my stepdad, I tell him, and then he says to call him if anything changes while he talks to the mechanic guy, which is also his friend. And so while doing that, I keep trying and trying and trying it, and I'm just pressing it and holding it, and it I'm holding it for like 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden the car just starts, like out of nowhere. Like I didn't do anything else. I just held it there, and then the car started. So I tell him he was trying to call me at the exact same time I was trying to call him. So it was like a busy signal at first. So I hung up, and then my phone started ringing because he was already trying to call me. So I tell him, and then he said, just get back to the pizza place, and then we'll go from there. So then I get to the pizza place, and he said that he had to shut down all the delivery apps and phone and all of that for delivery. So the mechanic guy gets there, and I shut my car off once I get there. And the mechanic guy gets here, and he has his car, and he said that we can use it for deliveries and stuff. And my stepdad said that he can't because he already shut the stuff down, and he's not gonna call them all back up to try to redo it. So, and he also doesn't want to use his car for the deliveries, right? Because just in case, the slight chance that I get into an accident or something, he doesn't want to have to deal with all of that. So I give him my key, and then he puts it in the car. The car starts right up for him, and he drives away. Then the next day, I go to shoot, no, I just completely forgot. That was actually the second thing that happened. The first thing that happened was his car died. He went in to get an oil change because he was late for one, And then after he got it, he started driving away, and the car started overheating like crazy. So he brings it back. They try to figure it out. They do the oil thing again. They put in new oil. He drives away. It reheats up again, and then he drives back. And then he had to take his car, the mechanic's car, and drive it for the day while he's trying to fix it. And he didn't know what was wrong with it at first. Like he thought it was the oil coolant box thing where the oil passes through and stuff. So it wouldn't be done until the next day, or the next day. But then it wasn't. So then he said the next day, which is then my car died the very next day. Well, died even though it turned back on. So then he takes the car, my car, while he also having my stepdad's car. And so then the next day, while having the mechanic's car, I go back to the mechanic's place. He said that he tried to turn it on and off over 100 times, probably exaggeration, but a whole ton of times. And he said it turned on for him every single time until I got there. Every time. And so he said that he doesn't, because it didn't not turn on for him, he doesn't actually know what the problem was. So he figured, to drive the car a little bit and try to figure out maybe it was something else. Not the starter. It wasn't the starter this time the way that it was the last time. So this time he replaced the gear shift controls, because he did say that those were sticking a little bit, which I knew that. So his best guess is that my car was not all the way in, or it didn't think that it was all the way in park, because it was in park, but it just didn't detect it was in park, which I still don't understand, because why would it turn on then if I didn't even move that? So I don't know if that's true, but maybe it just all of a sudden detected it was in park and then turned right on or something. I don't know. But so far, it's been turning on and off ever since. So I got my car back. He got his car back. Then I take 2 deliveries. This is the next day, like I said. I take 2 deliveries, come back, there's another delivery, there's another 2. I start going, 1.5 miles away, and all of a sudden my car starts heating up. So I pull in to this place that kind of looks like a church college mix type of deal, if that makes sense. And I park it in like one of the each parking place was either handicapped or had a name for reserved for somebody. And so I parked in the only parking place that did not have a name or a handicap place. And I shut the car off, and when I shut the car off, I seen like a whole bunch of steam and stuff coming out of my hood. So I figured it'd probably be a good idea to pull up the hood and just so that it can cool off and stuff. And then I see that there's oil that's spraying all over on the inside of the hood. It stopped after I shut it off, but like I seen oil like all over the place. It was on top of everything. And I was like, what the hell, man? And so luckily I have 2 boxes. Well, I didn't know that I had one already in my car, so I got another one. jugs of engine coolant in my trunk. So I get one, and I don't have a funnel or anything, so I actually took one of my empty water bottles, poured it in that, and then used that to pour it into the engine coolant, which I know you're not supposed to take off the things while it's hot and stuff, but I did it like as carefully as I could and like backed away and stuff. Like as soon as I took the top off, I backed away, but there was nothing. Nothing was spraying. There was nothing. So I started pouring the engine coolant in the thing. And like you could hear it go because of how hot it is and stuff. But I'm pouring it in the thing, and it was completely empty. And I'm pouring it in, and then all of a sudden I hear like pouring of liquid. And so I look to the side of my car. All of the engine coolant that I'm pouring into the car is pouring all over the ground. And it's just leaking out of this hose that's underneath the car, and like all over the place and all of that. So of course I know I can't use my car now, because if the engine coolant's not going to stay in the jug, then the thing that you put it in, then I can't drive my car, because you can't go without engine coolant, because it's going to do what it just did to me. So then I call my stepdad, and then he tells me to call the two people that I was going to deliver to, and I call the one person. I'm only a mile something away from them, and they said that they can't come pick it up. They're going to have to cancel it. So then I call the second person, and the second person, because of how the order of deliveries work, you go to the first person that ordered first, and then the second person. The second person was actually closer to the pizza place than the first person, but the first person ordered first, so you still have to go to them unless they're directly on the way. Like if the second person is on the way to the first person, then you can stop at the second person, because you're already on the way anyway. But they weren't on the way. It was like off to the side somewhere. So I was just going to come back, because it was only 3 miles for the first one anyway. And the second one was like half a mile from the pizza place, right? But where I was actually a little bit farther from them away now than we were if we were still at the pizza place, which is funny. But I tell them, and they're okay with trying to find a way to get a ride to come pick up the pizza from me where I was stranded. Luckily, it was like at a college or something, even though they were out at the time, so there was like nobody parked anywhere. And they did come after like 20 minutes. And this was while my stepdad was talking to the mechanic and stuff. At the pizza place on the phone, obviously. And then they come, and because they came and the first people didn't, they actually were able to get the first person's order for free. They didn't have to pay for it, which was an extra large meat eater or something like that, just for bothering to come out and pick up their food. Instead of also canceling. So they got that one for free, which is pretty cool, huh? And then she offered me, it was her and some other guy, offered me a slice of the pizza, asked if I was hungry and stuff. They said I could take a slice of the pizza from the free one that I gave them, or from the one that they ordered. And I said no. I said that was okay, but thank you. And then she also gave me a cold bottle of water, because it was freaking 90 out or something like that. Well, it wasn't, it felt it, but it was kind of cooler outside than it was in the car, if that makes sense. But I was still sweating a little bit, and I took it, even though I still had like a little bit of water, but I didn't know how long it was going to be before the mechanic or whoever the mechanic is talking to could come to me. So after about 30 minutes in total, the mechanic or the mechanics workers. The mechanic himself didn't come this time, but his workers did with the mechanic's car and one of their trucks. They both had to drive separately. And then he dropped off the mechanic's car for me. I gave him my keys, and then I was able to get the mechanic's car while they drove back because they couldn't pick it up today, because they didn't have a way to tow it because they can't drive it back now because so then I get back to the pizza place. Luckily, he decided that I can finish the deliveries with the mechanic's car this time, because 2 days in a row of no deliveries because my car died twice. It's crazy. So then the next day, we go back to the mechanic's place. My car's already done. It turns out it was just a hose or something. I don't know if he said wire, something connected to the thing and the hose and the whatever. It blew up on the bottom, and he just replaced it, and that was it. So it was only like a $10 replacement part, and that was it. Like, it was literally like if they knew what it was when it happened, they literally could have replaced it in like 5 minutes, and I could have already had my car. But they didn't know what it was until they were able to check it and bring it to the mechanic's shop and stuff. So that was lucky, but now this is day 3, and my stepdad's car is still in the shop because it turns out it's not what he first thought it was, and now it is either the engine or the transmission. And I think the last thing he said was transmission. I think it was the transmission, but I'm not sure. And he does not have the money to fix it or replace the transmission or whatever it is that he has to do. And I think the warranty ran out now. Pretty sure. Yeah, that's what they said. So you can't get it, whatever. So now tomorrow we have to get up early, because we didn't have to get up just to go to the pizza place. Instead of like preparing anything, we didn't have to prepare anything this time. But now we got to get up early because he wants to check several places to see if he can get it done cheaper or whatever, or something, because he can't pay for it himself, and I can't. There's no way I can. I mean, like, I have money saved up, but it's not enough. Not enough for that. Especially with my car dying so many different times now, you never know. I just paid $700 two months ago for the whole cooling system. Remember that? And I also gotta save up for my own life, and possibly getting a new car, because this one just hit 97,500 miles. So I don't think it's gonna last that much longer for a PT Cruiser anyway. Like, if it was a better car, then maybe, like 150,000, no problem. But, PT Cruiser is not gonna last that much longer. I don't think. Well, I mean, like, I don't want to run it into the ground, is what I mean. I want to trade it off for something before that happens. So now it has been about a week, and he still does not have his car. And so that's why we're getting up tomorrow. And yeah, this has been a freaking crazy week. And now, instead of me driving to work on my own with him going, because after my day off, he goes on his own and I go on my own. So usually I can sleep in longer than him because he has to do other stuff. But now I can't, and now I actually have to go with him to car dealerships and stuff like that before work, when it has nothing to do with me, which sucks. But yeah, that's what happens when you only have one car to share between 3 people. And even when we do have his car, it's my car is used whenever it's me or my mom, which I don't have a problem with. I'm just saying. So yeah, it was a freaking crazy week. My car didn't start the first day. Then all of a sudden it did, over and over and over, and didn't not start again. And then that very next day, it overheats. But then it was easily replaced, or easily fixed by an easily replaceable part. And his car is dead for now, for the foreseeable future. Wow. Wow.